Good evening, dear students. So I'm glad to see you in today's session. So I hope you can hear me very well. So if you can hear me clearly, just let me know, please. Okay, fine. So today we have a new topic on human resource management, which called performance. So we are talking about the employee's performance, the staff performance. Let's see the topic and structure of the session. So we are going to introduce to performance, study about the organization performance, what is knowledge and learning in the organizations, about the employee performance management as well as the appraisal systems, about the leadership and change in the organizations, and the management absence and attendance topic would be as a homework for you. So let's see. The performance actually, some of scientists, they made research based on the performance, and they found that the job employees career opportunity, that the career ladder, our development, the involvement in the management decision, the training programs, all influence the employee motivation. Employee motivation means the stimulation to work. Also, as a job influence the career opportunity, job working, as a team working as well, influence the job satisfaction of the employees in their work. As well as the training and management leadership, performance appraisal systems that we have at the organization, the work-life balance, the communication, all influence the commitment of the employees to the company. The commitment we say about the employees' loyalty to the company, how employees are responsible to the organization's objectives, to the organization's strategy. So Popper and Lindsay, this is the two kinds of science who is working on the human resource management. They describe the organization learning mechanism as a structural and procedural arrangement. So that allow what is actually the organization learning, which means learning in the organizations is when we collect the information, when we analyze the information store, all those information which is related to our performance, to our job actually, to our everyday duties. So the science is also the scientist. He knows that we have a very positive vision from the leadership side. So he says that he identifies three kinds of critical leadership roles. So from side of the leadership, we have the three kinds of roles. We call it as the designers, the teachers, and stewards. Who's actually designing? As a designer, this is the leaders. They need to engage the employees at all levels in the design divisions, in the purpose, the aims, the values of the organizations. So design processes for strategic thinking and effective learning. About so designers, the leaders who is as designers, they are more strategic thinking. They would like to they use learning processes as effective process in the organizations. Who are the teachers? For example, the leaders who has a special characteristics as a teachers. They need to help organizations members gain more insight of the organization. That means they are help to rest of employees to understand the organization's objectives, the organization's goals. And we have some steward. The leader needs to demonstrate a sense of personal commitment to the organization mission. So they are more committed to the organization mission, and they take a responsibility to impact the leadership to others. They would like to motivate the rest of employees to be as leaders. The Hawkins, he argued that the assumption may be made that all learning is good, whatever is being learned, actually. So, actually, when we talk about the learning, about the studying, it's always very good, if any field. But the important question, where you do apply this learning, and how you would practice in your every job duties. So on many organizations, as for example, in some most of international organizations, the knowledge is seen as a competitive advantage. So this is, as we can say, that is the knowledge programs, like some training programs, some development programs, they're seen as a competitive advantage of the company. So in the knowledge, we have two kinds of types. So first is explicit knowledge. Sometimes we call it as operational knowledge. It's about know what, the type of knowledge that can be codified and stored to others to access. So as example, I can give you the explicit knowledge. For example, when we learn some foreign language. When you learn some foreign language, as for example as English, so this is like English language is codified to the books, to the special, and is stored, so and other people can learn as well. Know what it is, means what is actually foreign language. And another the type of knowledge we have, tacit knowledge. It's all about know how. This is made up of assimilated experience. It's about how actually the things are done, how problems can be solved, what kind of strategies, methods, tactics we have, what works or what doesn't, and in what kind of conditions. This is about know how the things are done and how the problems can be solved. So you have to remember that when we talk about the knowledge in the organizations, we have two kinds of knowledge, which is explicit knowledge, is know what it is, what kind of things, and about the tacit knowledge is know about how the things can be done, how the things are actually works. As examples, for example, we have some problems in the organizations. We have some project, and under the project, we can give some recommendations how we can solve some kind of problems, how we can achieve the objectives, what kind of strategy we can use in this kind of project. This is tacit knowledge about know-how. So I hope you understand about the two types of knowledge: tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. Let's talk about the performance appraisal. So I think most of organizations, they use their own performance appraisal systems. What is actually, this is a system of review and evaluation of the individuals, teams, their performance. So the appraisal system, it's used especially in the organization to evaluate you as employee, to evaluate your performance, to evaluate your knowledge and skills. Is it enough for the organization? Is it enough for your job duties, the everyday job duties? And also the appraisal system we use to increase your performance management processes. So all the appraisal system in the organization, appraisal means we evaluate, we analyze the employees, their performance, their job, their everyday duties. So they are focusing, this kind of system, they are focusing on development, on the identify the future potential, which means the employee's future potentials, the rewards, identifying the performance, and motivations. So we use the appraisal system in the organization, identify what actually motivates you to work in the organization, what stimulates you to make your everyday duties, and how we can reward you. And also we can identify what kind of training and development programs it's necessary for you to achieve the company objectives. Also, the appraisal system, they help the management to get the feedback, which means the feedback from the side of the organization's performance. How actually the organization at overall achieving its objectives, its strategy, actually its goals. So most of organizations, they use appraisal system firstly to determine the training and development programs. That any employees need a special training programs or development programs to achieve its goals. And 65% the company, they use such programs to determine the payment, the salary. Actually, we're talking about the wages, to determine how much we can pay for you, how much we should pay for you. And 43% of the company, they use the appraisal system to identify the bonuses, some additional payment for you, some incentives. So let's talk about the potential of the appraisal system actually. So the objective of the potential appraisal is to predict whether an employee is capable of taking on more demanding work. That means we use the appraisal system to determine, can you get more duties besides of your existing of. So, and we have 4 main reasons why we use the appraisal system. First, we inform the people in the organizations about their future career, about their prospects, about their development in the organization. Then we also use to identify the organization succession plan, how actually organization perform. Also, we use the appraisal system to update the training and some recruitment programs. And another one, we use the appraisal system to advise the employees about the appropriate the career prospects in the future. So you have to remember the main goal of the appraisal system is to determine the employee's future career prospects. That means your future development in the organizations, how you will rise in the organization, how you go by the career ladder. As well as do you need any training or some learning programs to achieve some special goals in the organization. So, and also some the performance appraisal systems, they are development driven, and another one is reward driven. Let's see what is kind of. Here in the figure 1, we can see some stages of typical performance management system. How actually the performance system is working in the organizations. First one, we define the business role actually. We describe the job itself and objectives of the department, of the special team group in the organization. Next one, we plan the performance, the individual objectives as well as the development plans. Next, we deliver and monitor actually how the people work. Ongoing the management support. This is like also from the management side should be some support to the employees, and we review the employees' performance. And at the end of the appraisal system, we make some assessment of the employees based on their performance. Do they need some rewards or bonuses or incentives? All is linked to the payment for the salary, wages, as well as the bonuses and incentives, the additional payment. So here figure 2 shows you some objective setting cascade, how actually the objectives is done in the organization. First, the direction of objectives cascade down the organization. So we give some objectives from the board level. It goes from the top to down to the individual level, which means some maybe department. And next one, the direction of the feedback goes from the bottom to the top, as you can see in the figure 2. So first, the main objectives of the company is go from the top of the organizations, like from the top management to the department, then goes, for example, to some specialists, right? And the feedback, how actually that kind of objective is done in the organization, it comes from the bottom, from the normal specialists, from managers to the top, to the CEO and for the top management. This is, I think, is familiar for you. In the organization, the systems are same as we can see here. So the employee performance management system, what is actually? This is they incorporate appraisal activity. They include such links to organization objectives. So we talk about that all performance appraisal system. They link to the organization objective first. They also include some motivation, coaching, the supporting programs, as well as the training and development programs. So, for example, maybe you have heard about we have some 360-degree appraisal system. The most organizations, they use this kind of system. What is actually? This is a performance appraisal process in which the supervisors, the peers, employees, customers, and the like evaluate the individual. So, 360-degree appraisal, when we have supervisor in the organization, so we can get some the supervisor of the department, and he will or she will evaluate all the staff's performance in that kind of department. And this kind of appraisal system is used in most of organizations. You can see the 90% of the Fortune 1000 firms use this such as system, and it gives very good results, the positive results to the organizations. Also, this appraisal system includes the feedback. So what kind of advantages the 360-degree feedback have? First, all the advantages that we have talked about, that evaluation, about the assessment of the employees, right? But also has some disadvantages. For example, when we evaluate the employees, we have some ranking system, for example. We rank, like, for example, like Mr. Mustafa has some grade 9, the Miss Brishna has a grade 8, or and so on. And when if this information is available to all the staff, it can motivate people as well can demotivate. For example, if your rank is low, so you can be demotivated with your ranks. And this is also seems like not good beside of in front of the rest of employees in your organizations. But another situation is when you are ranked very highly, So then you can think that some of people can think that, okay, maybe I work very hard so much, so maybe I can reduce my the effort for my duties, and this also can be affected your performance. Also, this can be affected negatively. For example, when they supervise, they rank the employees, and also the employees can be unhappy with the ranks, and it will be directly directed to the supervisor, that you might think that the supervisor is subjective for you especially. Maybe you don't. Maybe you have not good relationship with your supervisors, for example. So think about it. If you have such a program in your organization. So let's see. We have another kind of appraisal systems. For example, rating. This is when a number of employees characterized by the rated on scale. This is, as I told you, some rating system when we rank the employees that their job is unstanding or unacceptable, and so on. Another one technically is a comparison with objectives. So the top manager, they inform the main objectives for the staff, and then at the end of some date, they will compare that does an employee achieve the objective that given by the top manager. Another one is the critical incident. This is the appraisal records the incidence of the employee's positive and negative behavior during the period. So this means like when supervisor evaluate you based on your behavior at the job. So, for example, if you are we are all a human being, of course. If you don't have some mood, maybe your behavior in the job would be can be evaluated negatively by the other rest of the employees. So, and supervisor can evaluate you based on these activities, based on your behavior in the organizations. So, any questions so far about the performance appraisal systems, about the knowledges in the organizations? Because you are all very quiet. I hope you do understand what we are talking about. So we are talking about the employees' performance, about the appraisal systems that we have in the organizations, how we can appraise the employees, and why we need actually the appraisal systems. Why we need the first to identify your future career development in the organization. Next one, to identify the necessity of your training and learning programs. And another one, to identify your salary, your wages, your payment, your additional bonuses. Okay, as I can see, you understand. Some of you say that you don't have you can't hear me, no voice. But I hope most of you can hear me. Who cannot hear me, please you should manage your microphone first. So 360-degree appraisal system. What is actually 360? You do understand what it means. This is when the supervisor evaluates all employees, and then when we have feedback from employees, how they actually like this kind of evaluation. And we evaluate the employees based on their behavior, their attitudes, based on their main duties, based on the responses that they done at the everyday work, based on their knowledge and skill that they use in the organization. This is a 360 that we include. We're catching all the activities of the employees, and we evaluate them and analyze how actually the things are done by the employees. And another side, we collect the feedback from employees, like do they like this kind of appraisal system? Do they are satisfied with appraisals, with the training and development programs? Do they satisfied with their job performance, with their daily duties? This is about the 360-degree appraisal system. And the potential appraisal, when we identify the potential appraisal system, that means we are going to analyze, does the organization need the appraisal system actually? If it's need, why we need? The first, to identify the employees, their future development in the organizations. How they actually, all we are as employees, we have to develop together with the organization in one line. I think you agree with me, right? And we analyze how we can actually achieve our development, the usage of special training and learning programs, or the special succession plan, or we have to explain the company's objectives very clearly in that special way that employees would be available to understand actually and to achieve the company's objectives. It's all about the potential of the appraisal systems. Okay, let's move. So I can see that you do understand everything. So let's move to the leadership and change. About the leadership in the organization. So we are going to talk about how the leadership, what is actually leadership in the organization, and who are the leaders in the organizations. So Northouse, he suggests that there are 4 components which is characterized the leadership. So how we can identify the leadership? That the leadership is a process. It involves the influence, the people's influence. It occurs within the group context when we have some team in the group. It also involves the goal attainment. So leadership is a process in which an individual influences the other group members. So the leadership, it's process. First, it's a process. We're talking about the process. And the leaders, it's the people with the special knowledge and skills that can and available to influence the other group, other people toward some goals, toward some organization's goals or objectives. What actually characterizes the leaders, the traits of the leaders? How we can identify the leaders? For example, first, the drive to achieve. All the leaders, their drive to achieve their goals and objectives. They are motivated to lead, to be a leader and to lead actually, to manage the people. They are very honest in integrity. Actually, the leader must be honest in integrity with the rest of members. They are also the self-confident. They include the ability to withstand the setbacks and standing the company and being emotionally resilient. They also cognitive ability. And also, it's very important, that the leaders, they must have a knowledge of the business. This is very important. Besides of the knowledge, you can't do anything. You cannot teach, you cannot lead the people if you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the skills, you are not qualified, and you don't have also the life experience is some additional point for the leaders. So in table 4 we can see that Goleman, he described the 4 components of the emotional intelligence. Actually, this is says like how, from the emotional side, who are the leaders? First, they are self-awareness. This he defined as a deep understanding of their strengths. That the leaders actually, they understand their strengths, what the kind of strength they have, their weaknesses, their needs, values, and goals. And also, they also are aware, they are also focusing on their limitations, own limitations. If you are a leader, you must know your limitations, that if you have so. Of course, we can't say that some people are ideal. All people are different. Some people have another such as type of knowledges, and as we can say, the strengths. Another one have another kind of strengths in maybe in experiences. So this is like the leaders who knows own the weaknesses and strengths. Also, they are self-regulations. They are self-regulated. They can control their feelings, their emotional feelings. Also, they think in constructive ways. Very when they think, they think in structured and very constructive ways to solve some kind of problems, for example. They are not panicked. They are also comfortable with the ambiguity. And also motivation is very important. The leaders are motivated, and actually they must motivate another people, like to influence them. Also, they all are the leaders that are driven by the internal factors. They're striving to achieve, to lead, to go ahead. Also, leaders, they are considering, they care about the rest of the members of the team. And also, they have a very good the communication skills. They are friendly. They are very good and kind with all the members of the team or any group. So this is all about the leaders. This is right now we have talked about what is actually characterized the leaders in the organizations. So the Blake and Morton, they identify 4 kinds of leadership style. So let's see. The first is the authority compliance management. This is the people, leaders, who low concerns about the people in the organization, which means they are low concern about the employees, but they have high concerns about the production, about the business itself. So we call it authority compliance management style. Another one, we have some impoverished management. This is the leaders who low concerns about the production. This is very poor leaders. Actually, sometimes we cannot call them as the leaders, as they have concerns very low about the people, about the employees, about the business, about its objectives. Another one is the country club management style. This is the leaders who are high concerns about the people, but low concerns about the production, about the business, about the organizations. This is the opposite side of the authority compliance management. And another one is the team management style. This is the best actually style in the organization. This is leaders who high concerns about the people, about the employees, and high concerns about the production as well as about the businesses, about the organization's objectives. So someone asked me about the Blake and Moulton. This is a scientist of the human resource management. So you can find, if you are a leader, you can find your style, who you are. Do you really high concern about the people as well about the production? Then you are you use a team management style. Or you are low concern about the people, but you are high concern about the organization, about the business actually. So Kotler identified the leaders as establishing direction, whereas the managers plan and bad. So the leaders, they are managers who plan the budget in the organization, and leaders align the people with the vision, whereas the manager organize the things. The leaders, people who organize the things, they design the things. Leaders also, they motivate people, they inspire the people to solve the problems, to be controlled. Also, the leaders, they encourage for the changes. If the changes happen in the organization, they encourage the rest of employees to the changes. So this is the leaders, how we can identify the leaders. So here is, let's see the very interesting statement given by Hayes and Lowry. So they suggest that the leaders do not need to know all the answers, but they do need to know the right questions. So what do you think about it? Let's discuss about this statement, about the first statement. That the leaders, they not need to know all the answers. Like that means they shouldn't be as encyclopedia people who knows everything about. They have all the knowledge in all the fields, like let's see, or experiences and skills. But the leaders, this is the people who needs to know the right question. Like right question means they need to motivate people in the right way. They must know how to influence people to solve some problems. Anyone wants to give some recommendation or suggestion about, or your own vision about this statement? What do you think? So I'd like to hear you. So I can pass you microphone if you want to explicit your thinking, your vision about this statement. Okay, I can see the Mr. Navid, please.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening, and also hello to our classmates. Do you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you. Good evening, Mr. Navid.
Thank you very much. Yes, as the leaders always prepare the visions and missions or the organizational values and the strategies of the organizations, this is very important to know the questions, the right questions, in order to prepare the visions, the missions, and the strategies for the organizations. Then it's easier for the staff, for the organizations to follow those missions and visions, because the question, when they wanted to organize, to prepare the organization, to make the organization, it was easier, identified, the questions were clear, and the right questions were found, and the right vision, mission, and strategies were installed from the beginning of the organization. So this is what I understand from this statement, that the leaders, why the leaders should know the right questions instead of knowing all the answers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So good answer from the Mr. Navid. So it's very important. If you are a leader, or if you're willing to be a leader, so it's not necessary for you to know all the answers, which means to have some learning and studies about all the things, how it's done in the world actually. About all the, it's not necessary for you to know the like 4 or 5 kind of foreign languages if you would like. So you can have your own vision, like how the problems can be done. So, for example, we influence, like for example, as we are a leader, we can influence the people to solve the problems. Like if we have some problems in the organizations, and as you are a leader, you can influence, you can direct the other members to achieve the problem solving, and to how you can do it, to give a right question, to influence, to direct it, to motivate it. So the leaders, this is the special people actually. We cannot say that all peoples are leaders. All leaders we can see very rarely in the companies. This is like specially emotional designed people we can see. They have their own vision, and they are very like the self-confidence, and they are very aware about their knowledges and skills. So to be a leader is very hard work, I would like to say for you. And it's all about also communication with the people. The good leader is a good communicator, the good orator, we can say, who has a good relation with all type of employees. Okay, that's good. So I have received very good answers. Okay, so it's very good, so we are participating in the class, so let's move. Also, he argued that the leaders need a combination of skills and personality. So, like, what kind of skills the leaders must have? The envisioning, the engaging, enabling, inquiring, and developing skills are needed together with the authenticity, integrity, will, self-belief, and the self-awareness. This is all about the leaders. So let's move the change. We have talked about the leadership, about the leaders. We identified we characterized the leaders. Let's talk about the change. What is actually change? The change is something which cannot be avoided in today's competitive business environment. So I think you remember we have talked about the changes in the organizations, why it happened in the organization. Because we have some influences from internal factors as well as from the external factors. Like external factors given to examples like information technology changes happen in the world, so it affects your company. The global and local competition also affect the company changes. Demographic trends also affect the company changes. In the change, we have some resistance to change. what is the resistance? What are the causes of resistance, the reasons of the resistance, and why the resistance exists? Let's see. So we have some external forces for change. Actually, let's talk about what actually forced the company to make some changes in the organization, in its structure, in the people knowledges, in the in the employees' daily duties. First is like information technology. Like when we have some the new trends based on the information technology. Here is given to us easy information transfer that facilitates global structures, that requires new competencies and expectations, that the companies facilitate the telecommunicating, the new employment relationships, and more emphasis on knowledge management. So information technology, it's a very important factor that affects any company to be changed because of it requires a new expectation, new competencies in the organizations. Next one is the globalization and competition. So we have also changes which comes from the globalizations. For example, the technology makes it easier to compete quickly. That means, for example, the internet. In the recent years, the internet is, as we can say, as information, the trends from the information technology, it affected all companies. From which side? For example, before internet, when we didn't have internet, we used like the post mails and so on to receive some documents and mails. Also, besides of the sale, or if you talk about the sales, then all the sales managers, they have some arrangements with partners in the special places, make some arrangements and so on. But today with the internet, we can do all the things very fast, easy, it takes a very low cost. For example, you can email any information online, right? You can have some arrangements also online. You can make some, you can sign also contracts besides of the special arrangements through the internet. You can send, you can scan, you can sign the contract, scan and send it by email. A lot of things can be done through the internet, through the new information technologies. And when this is happening, the organization, all organizations, they have some resistance because they need to have knowledge about the internet, how we can use it, how it works actually. So, and this is also the main change which is happening in recent years in all the companies, in all the organizations. Another one is from the demography side. Demography side. What is external force we have? For example, today we have a more educated workforce. Today a lot of young people, they are all educated, they are interested in work. Also, this can change the organization structure. Also, younger generation, they are less intimidated by the status. They are prefer some balanced work life. This is also can affect the change in the organizations from the side of the, let's say, the human resource regulations. Also, some cultural changes we have. A lot of people, they are immigrated to different countries. This is also affect the companies. So that means more, today most large international companies, they try to diversify their staff. That means they are recruiting a lot of foreign employees. Why they do this? To enter the new markets, to get the talented and some creativity people. So this is the demographic trends. How it affect any company from this side. Yes, this is demography means when that we have some changes in the population, in the structure of the population. When as well we talk about educated people. So the Lewin is the human resource scientist. He produced the force field analysis model. What is this model? Actually, it helps to understand how the change process works. From the one side of the force field model represents the driving forces and like what is drives the changes, like we state IT, globalization, competition, demographic trends, and so on. And another side, it represents the restraining forces. Let's see the model itself. Here is the force field analysis model, which is working in the change process. So, as you can see from the list of the current conditions, and is willing to come to the desired conditions, to the new changes. So before change, we have some driving forces is very low. Then the restraining forces comes on the driving force. Then during the change, our driving forces are rising, like they are powering, and then the restraining forces they are decreasing, they are powering. And after changes, when the change is happening in the organizations, when the current conditions is they already changed to desired, the new conditions, the driving force already are being increased, and restraining forces are decreased. They become small. That means this is just an example in the picture, shows you how the change process happens in the company. That before the change, we have very high resistance to the change from the side of the company, from the side of the employees, from the side of the all activity on the organizations. And then during the change, after the change, the resistance are falling, and new conditions is already working in the organizations, and people are already educated and updated with information for the changes. So we have to talk about the forces for change. That what kind of forces we have for change? That we talk about the globalization, competition, about the IT trends, and so on. What actually about the resistance to change? Why the resistance is happening in the companies? First is direct cost. Of course, if any change happens in the world, when it affects the company, we have some direct costs. For example, we need some buy a new equipment if it's the change comes from the IT technology, or if its change comes from demographic side, like we need some new training, learning programs. Of course, this will all takes costs. It will be affected by the direct cost. Another one is the saving phase. What is the saving phase? That means the company wants to doesn't want to change its face, its reputation. It wants to remain as exists. It wants to exist as the previous one. Another one, fear of the unknown. This is about the people. When we talk about the employees, most employees they don't want to change. They don't want to break the routines, the daily routines. Also, as given the breaking routines that the people don't want to change their daily routines, daily duties. Another one, incongruent systems. Also, when the systems is being changed, and incongruent the team dynamics. Also, where it's affected all the members of the organizations. So this is the main factors of the resistance to the change. It's a costing, it's about the reputation, it's about the unknown, the fear of the unknown, about the breaking routines, and so on. So, okay, another one, creating an urgency for change. What we can do to move faster to create the good condition for the changes. We need to motivate employees for changes. How we can do it? Maybe we throw some bonuses or incentives or some rewards programs. Another one, more difficult, is when organization is doing well. That means when organization, the profit is very good, the business is rising, and this kind of organization is very difficult to have some changes in the daily routines. And all the changes, the activities must be real, and the customer-driven. We have also some customer-driven changes. For example, we talk about when the customers' attitudes, behaviors changes. Like today, for example, most people, they prefer another things beside compared to the previous 20, 30 years. And from the side of the customer, the change also maybe happen in the organizations, because we are, for example, as a customer, our needs, our attitudes, our behaviors are changed. Today we like Coca-Cola, not Pepsi, for example, and also this can be affect the company who is producing some drink liquid juices or something like this. So what we can do to minimize the resistance to changes? The first is communication. We have to communicate. We have to talk to people. Why we need this change in the organization. Another one is the training. We have to support and provide learning some training programs to the employees. Another one, employee involvement, which means all employees must be involved in the change process. They must know why is the change actually happens in the organizations and what the main objectives of the changes. Another one, the stress management. That means from the management side, the management must be very friendly to the employees and to reduce stress at work. And negotiation, another the step of the minimize the resistance to change. We can negotiate with the employees, like if you do break your daily routines, you do another different jobs, we can pay for you some additional payments, additional bonuses. And the coercion is the last step actually in the changes. Like, for example, some employees they don't want to break their routines, and the coercion happens when the top management says that you have to change or you can resign. That no another way. But this is the last step actually, which we can use in the change process. How we can actually refreeze the desired conditions? The creating organization systems and team dynamics to reinforce desired changes. The other rewards to enforce the new behavior. We talked about already that we can motivate people with the reward system for the changes. We have to provide the new information and guide people for the changes. And also, it's very important when we collect the feedback from the employees about the changes. Do they like these changes? how they've been affected by these kind of changes. The change agents, in the change process, we use the change agents. We can recruit one, they recruit, or we can select from the existing employees. This is a change agent. This is like a leaders, the people with the special skills and knowledges who influence the people, who influence the rest of employees to follow them, to make a change in the organizations, to be changed actually. And what kind of condition we have to prepare to make change very more softly in the organizations? We can prepare the successful some pilot study, some favorable publicity, to inform all people about the changes. The top management must have also some support to the employees. Maybe some labor union involvement and some strategy described well. It's very important when we describe the strategy to the employees very well, clearly, and main objectives as goals as well. Also, we may have some pilot program. People moved around. That means we might have some pilot program in the organizations for the change processes. So that's all about the performance. So we have talked about, actually today in the topic, we have talked about the knowledges, what kind of knowledge we have in the organizations, why is knowledge is important. So I'm going to summarize you. Another one, we have talked about the appraisal system. Now you know that we have some 360-degree appraisal system when the supervisor appraise, evaluate the employees from the different sides. And appraisal system, they need to actually the necessity of the appraisal system is to identify the employees' career opportunities, their development in the organizations, the necessity of the training and the recruiting programs, the necessity of the updating some learning programs. Okay. Also, we have talked about the leadership. We have talked about the leadership is a process, as you know. We have talked about who is the leaders, what kind of leaders we have, and we identified the main traits of the leaders and how they emotionally structured the leaders actually, and why leaders are needed in the company actually. And another one, we have talked about the changes. Why the changes happen in the company, what force the changes in the organizations, the forces from the, we have talked from the IT trends, from the demographic, from the globalization trends, from the competition side, right? And we have talked about also resistance. Why is resistance happening in the organization? Because of costs. Because it involves the cost, because of the fear of the unknown, because the people, they don't want to break their routines, because the company performs very well, and also the company doesn't want to change its routines, to change its face, its reputation, its branding. So this is all about the performance. So any questions so far about today's topic? So next topic, on the next session, we have a topic about the development. And based on the development topic, I'm going to send you some case study. And the case study with some questions will be as a homework, and we are going to discuss on the next session. So next session will be probably practical. Sorry. The correction means, some of you ask me what is correction. Correction means when we push people to be changed. When we pushing, forcing them. So that's all for today. Any questions so far? So you must remember that the next topic on next session will be development. And I have some very good case studies. Also, you can read your own some case studies. I can send you the link. Maybe you heard about the Times 100, the business case studies. Did you hear about this website? It's very good. The business case studies. So we have some the case studies based on developing people in the businesses, in the organizations. And actually, those case studies, we can read them from the website only. We cannot download because actually they are chargeable. But I have some of the case studies already downloaded, because previously actually this website was free. All the information from the website was free, but today it's already chargeable. They changed their regulations and rules, but it's fine, because I'm going to send you I will email you the case study, which is already downloaded, so you'll be able to print it and read at your home. So you asking about the difference between leaders and managers. We have to identify the difference. The leaders and managers. It's not the one kind of people. They are different. But the managers, they can be as leaders as well as the managers. But not all the leaders, they are managers. For example, the manager, they manage people, how do things. And but the leaders, they influence people to perform. This is like a different kind of definitions of the leaders and managers. The manager also, some managers, they can't be as a leader, because, like managers, they have some very, let's say, the rich knowledges about the businesses. They have some very good, very let's say, good experiences. And they manage people how to do things. They manage the duties of the employees, the everyday duties. They push and coercion people to make their responsibilities. But the manager also, maybe they cannot be leaders. They cannot influence the people to find some problem solving, to be a creative, like as a leader. Leaders, they are different. They are more emotionally managed. From the emotional side, they are managed from the inside visioning on the things. So they influence people to find some problem solving, to be some creativity, to find some new idea, and they influence people for as a team when they do perform. But not all leaders also are managers. So we can have in the organization manager as well as leaders separately. If you have in the organization manager in one phase as a manager and as a leader, it's very good. This is very rare people who can be as a manager as well as a leader. But not all managers can be a leader. So I have a question about asking me what's the difference between the job performance and appraisal. So appraisal is when we appraise people, when the top management supervisor appraise employees. Appraise means evaluate. We analyze your working duties, your performance, how you work actually. And job performance, this is actually from the employee side, how we perform, how our job actually done, or what kind of duties and how our duties been achieved. This is a job performance. About the assignment, I will send you the case study. You will receive it on email. Right now, I do it after the class, okay? Anyway, you will have 1 week to review the case study. Case study would be for three, four paper only. It's not so big, and with 3, 4 questions. So, and and we will discuss on the class about the questions. Thank you very much for you. So I hope you enjoyed the class. You do understand about the job performance, about the appraisal systems, about who is managers, who is the leaders. Any questions so far? Yes, I can see you are giving me a very good answer that manager working on the system, but the leaders, they're creating systems. This is a very good statement, Mr. Farid. Also, Mr. Abaidullah asking me what kind of factors is forces the changes, the internal or external. The most important and I can say the most difficult factors is external. Do you agree when for example, new technology trends comes to the organizations, so it coaching all the organizations, so it will be changed totally by 360 degree. So this is would be very difficult and takes a lot of time to change the structure, for example, of the organizations. Actually the performance will be changed also. But the internal factors, we can say, for example, when we have some new kind of top management, this is also can change the organization from the inside of the organization. Let's say when we have some new director in the company and he has a own vision for the businesses, and maybe he wants to change the strategy of the business, its main objectives, maybe in different way. He's seen business in the different way. Also, it would be affected your main duties, like you will get some new projects, for example, or you have to take some training programs, or you should create some new idea for the new visioning. This is about the internal factors. So most of you ask me about how many actually appraisal system exists. Actually, appraisal system, we don't have some special codified structure of the appraisal system. Because why? Because organization itself can create own appraisal system based on the businesses, based on the field, based on the market it has a business, based on the actually culture of the businesses. So the organization, the company, they actually can, they in most of the situation they create some own the appraisal system, which will be worked in, especially in that organization with special this kind of existing employees. You see. And some kind of types I already told you about the 360-degree appraisal system, about the rating appraisal system. We talk about also the comparison objectives appraisal system. This is a lot of, it depends on the organization. And also nowadays most of companies, they create some new kind of appraisal systems. It's also is changeable. Yeah, that's no standard system. We have some standard structure maybe, which includes that all appraisal system, they are willing to identify the people's learning necessity programs about the career opportunities and so on, and about the motivation programs also. But we don't have some special standard program. But today, I'd like to say that, based on my experience, as I can see in the organization, most of organizations use the appraisal system, which is reward-driven, like based on the bonuses. For example, you have some objectives. The supervisor gives you a special objective to achieve, like if you work, for example, if you work in the insurance company, you have some the objectives. You should have some the amount of sales in the month. You have some special plan for sales, and you should sign the contracts based on the sales plan. If you do achieve your plan, you will receive special bonuses. This is the appraisal system actually. If you achieve your plans on 50% only, so your bonus will be based on the 50% only. Also, if you go beyond of your plan, you will receive some additional bonuses or some rewards. Some appraisal systems, they link to the company revenue, for example. And they link to the company sales. Based on the commission, they pay for you some bonuses. And based on the organization perform, they appraise the individuals. Also, this is some kind of appraisal system. Okay, I have some question. What is the difference between the exam and appraisal? So what do you mean actually exam? Exam is based on the knowledges, but appraisal is based on your skills, on your experiences actually, on your performance in the organizations. Appraisal is more widely, let's say, the word which includes a lot of things. Your behavior, your attitude in the organizations, your performance actually, your skills or your experiences. But when we have some exam, for example, we have some training programs, and based on this training program, we have some exam. The exam will be based on the training programs, on what you have studied only. It's all based on your knowledges. So any questions so far? if you have any kind of appraisal system in your organization, most of the international, multinational organizations, they already are involved in the appraisal system. If you are working in such an organization, you must have appraisal system. But maybe you don't know how does it work actually, because sometimes the appraisal system would be like the information on the appraisal system may be not available to the all employees. It might be confident, but actually the HR department it must inform employees that the company has appraisal system, and what actually the appraisal system includes, what kind of the system actually is, or based on what kind of factors they evaluate you, they appraise you as employee. So you're asking me about the case study. Don't worry, case study will be for 3-4 pages. It is in just one. Let me see. In Adobe Acrobat document, in Adobe Reader file. I think you should be able to open it and read it. Also, I can send you the links of the website of the case study. So you don't have to worry about the case study. It's very easy to read because it's written by with very easy language. But the important things that you must review it before the next session and prepare your answers, your own answers. So if not any questions so far, we can finish our class for today. And later we'll send you the case study and you will be able to read it and to prepare for the next session. So thank you very much for joining the class. Thank you for your question actually. When I see a lot of questions, that means you are interested in the class, that means you're interested in the topic itself, and I'm very appreciate that you are participating in the class actually.